On our agenda, I'd like to ask the board how we feel about this. I think we had talked about having old business being conducted before going to new business. Would the board like to proceed that way for this evening? If so, I propose we do that. And then, because we do have to go through the Morrison application and perhaps the finding of the fact to reach a conclusion at some point. So we do need to make some progress there. So I'd say we do that one. Going with old business, again, one, thank you for showing up tonight, appreciate it.
You're going to delay with doing the minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because we do have minutes from the 17th of May, June 17th. Yeah. How would you like to proceed? How would the board like to proceed? Would they like to do minutes after conducting business? Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay. Take care of some business. So does everybody have the package in front of them about the Morrison application? Rich, do you have that?
Yeah.
And when we met last, we discussed some items that had yet to be filled out to provide, in other words, providing information to the town of Belgrade. So they came in with some information handed to us. We have some copies I can hand out for everybody to review. Oh, sure. Please see what we do. We only have one copy of these. Yeah. This is a lease agreement. The other item is a copy of the Bureau of Motor Vehicles dealer license.
I know.
And the third item is looks like a revised, slightly revised map. From Rick Paper.
I put right here is where by the October, where I was going to do 600 square feet of vegetation here. Okay. And the waste area, I just put planting and grass around the whole waste area.
I see. Okay, so we also those two things.
And the garage.
Right, in the garage is storage.
Okay. So we only have one copy of those. We don't have enough for everybody right now. We'll pass these to us and see them at the very least. So previously, when we had gone through the permit application, we had started, maybe board members can help me out, start with the first thing that we had asked the applicants to provide to us. We can make sure that the application either has or has not met everything we've asked of the applicants.
I think she filled I think she made a paper of the things we were lacking.
Yeah, I think he passed it out.
Yeah.
Bullet points.
Yes. So based on that, the first thing that was listed is the DEP certification number for the contractor that did the earthwork for the applicant. So that information has been provided. Here, Jason Stevens. And his certification number is listed. The next thing that's listed here is, it looks like it's a description of a seating, I guess I would call it a plan, if you will, where Ben agrees to plant seeds of grass and cover at least 300 square feet of my proposed lot area in order to reduce the total disturbed or used area to under 29,999 square feet total. So thank you for indicating that. Then the third item was, a description of the ditching around the lot, around the disturbed area. I, Ben Morrison, have stabilized ditching around my lot and road. We will plant grass in the ditched area by October 25th.
I did not, but I will.
And he says we will add vegetation and already do have straw back in the first 18 inches of gravel on the lot for soil erosion control measures. So that's that. Then is that this? I think for the applicants, that's what we had asked them to provide to us.
As well as the lease agreement, which there's only one copy to share.
That's
The copy of the dealer's certificate
from BMV.
and the revised map. So
Yep.
those were everything we,
Those are the things. So thank you. So at this point, looking through the application, I'm not sure how the board would like to proceed. We've gone through this a couple of times and tried to identify gaps. At this time tonight, the applicants have provided information that we asked them to provide. I guess from what I'm hoping we can do is either determine it's complete or it's not complete.
You put the original right there, that you checked off for the, you had it done,
Let me see.
because that's the one you're gonna decide. You got the original, Nick?
The original act?
It says original.
So that's the one that should have the dates of things we changed.
Right, into this. Yes, exactly. Thanks. We will put those together. That will be part of the application. Thank you. So, at the very least, page 31 of the application package talks about minimum required application attachments. We have gone through this before. I think we have everything that has been asked of us. We had checked off some copy of deed, option, sales agreement, lease, and other documentation of title or interest. Actually, they had nothing checked off, but now we have a modified lease agreement.
and the deed. And the deed too.
Copy of tax map of property, get that checked off. Same for soil map, topo map, shoreline zoning map, showing the property, copy of the FEMA flood insurance map, national wetlands inventory map. What did we decide about beginning with habitat and yet natural areas map showing property?
That's not accessible on our behalf for some reason. I think it was understood that wasn't.
What question you had?
I was just looking at the minimum required application attachments.
You're at the beginning, okay.
Just trying to make sure we can know that whatever we've asked them to attach, that we have it.
I can't recall what we have, but, I did check that, and there's nothing on that immediate parcel, identified by Inland Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah, he's the one that did the research, told us last time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Copies of other federal, state, or local permits. I don't think there's anything that was applicable that I can work on. We had starred the 24x36 to scale site plan with detailed drawing. Are we all in agreement that, I don't know, what we have is sufficient, or is it?
Two things that I noted. One is just in the way of clarification. We now have at least 3 generations of site drawings. It would be good if we had this one labeled as revised, dated, and initial, so we know it's the one of record. It takes precedence over the other, so there's no confusion 6 months from now. The other thing was, I think it just requires a clarification on there. We had talked, or I had talked last time about the need that the ordinance requires maintenance of a vegetative buffer from the abutting property. And although you show it as wood, there's no mention of it being retained as a 50-foot vegetative buffer. I think it's just a matter of making a note to that effect on the drawing.
Okay. So does that make sense, what he's talking about?
Yeah.
So, and was there a third item?
No, just those two.
Those two. Rich, if it's okay, we could ask the applicant to do a couple of things. Make the note, the second thing that George talked about. The aim is to retain, how do you say it, retain the wooded buffer between.
Is that over on the side there?
Yeah, just on the sides,
So
both sides.
both sides gonna retain, or don't think it retain the 50-foot wood buffer.
Fortunately, you got plenty of land and woods.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'd be helpful to also mark on that planted area, 300 square feet.
Today is the second.
What are we titling this?
Revised and data. Revised.
And
Site
the-
plan.
Revised site plan.
And the date.
8/23/18.
Date it.
As of today?
That way it's the most recent of the 3 that we have.
And Rich mentioned something as well.
Oh, I just thought the area you've got on there replanted in the corner, yeah, maybe worth putting 300 square feet on that. I think it's the bottom, yeah.
All right, and before we go, do we want to see the note about maintaining the 50-foot buffer, the wooded buffer? We want that on each side, is that correct?
Right.
Could you? Thank you.
computer or what?
That's definitely casino.
So did that help address your concerns?
Yep.
Just wanna make sure that, that the minimum required application attachments, that we cover those things. We're down to, I don't wanna get hung up on this, but what do we decide about 24 by 36 to scale site plan? Utilizing this site plan as the most recent one, and are we comfortable with that? Okay.
I mean, it's to scale,
What's that?
it's to scale.
Yes, exactly. Next was 8 copies of the completed application form, required attachments, and to scale plan drawings reduced to 17. Was the purpose of that so that we'd have one for the town, but also one for every planning board member? I don't even.
Yep. Yep.
So are we sufficient with this one? We each have.
We got it now, how they got here, I don't know.
Yeah.
Evidence of water supply adequacy. We had previously had to, I think, Lauren, if you put that, to obtain from your well driller or main certified geologist, the using text there.
So that's not relevant, because you're not.
Right,
No, there's no water.
That's one.
And then,
no shelter or water.
Soil erosion control plan. We
That-
talked about that.
yeah,
one.
That was part of the bullet point too.
Yeah, and that's listed here. DEP certified contractor name, that's listed here. National Register of Historic Places and listing of historic sites on property, and that does not apply to we know that. Based on previous experience, it is. Does not apply. In this case, at your property. Maine Historic Preservation Commission listing of any archaeological sites on property. Do you have anything about that?
We know that there aren't any on the site.
No.
Yeah, we know there aren't any there.
Turning the page, subsurface wastewater disposal, that does not apply in this case, we're not disposing wastewater. Exterior lighting plan and specification for fixtures, I think when we talked about this in the past, we talked about no additional lighting. Is that the case?
Yeah,
To scale profile face on view of proposed signs.
none there, none.
none proposed.
None proposed. Stormwater management plan, I think in this case, it's, is this where we fall into the 30,000 square feet?
Yeah,
Below now,
Yeah, we're now below it,
so
so now
according
we're,
to the site plan, they're gonna rely on bringing the stormwater into the forested wetland area.
flow.
Yeah.
So when the
Actually,
town,
the amendment we got at the last meeting addresses that
that
verbally.
part. And then phosphorus export control plan. We would be relying on the same information. Okay.
And then I believe, if I recall correctly, there was information in the original application that dealt with, the phosphorus standard in the ordinance. Because that property is in the watershed of Pulaski, and as a consequence, the phosphorus standard is a little higher than some of the other lakes.
So at this point, we have two more big steps to go through. One is the application submissions checklist. And then two would be the findings of fact. The checklist is just routine, we go through everything this year. So are we ready to do this? Everybody all set?
Haven't we already gone partially?
I thought we
This
had
already.
I thought we were just dealing with the issues that
The new
were
issues.
missing, which
Yeah.
was in the minutes from.
Yeah, the only other thing that was funny was that
Yeah.
after this was.
Okay, so is the board satisfied that after having gone through the checklist previously, having identified gaps, that the applicants have filled those gaps by supplying the information on the submissions that they presented today?
I personally am, but do we not have the original
We
checklist?
never
We never completed it?
checked it, the list, we
Oh.
haven't gone through it, we never checked it.
Correct. The original, this one, we don't have, check marks or anything for these things.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So I think we can do this fairly quickly. Applicant name, Benjamin Morrison, development name, that was,
Ben's Auto.
fee has been paid?
Yes.
Notice provided by CEO to landowners within 500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing says notice provided by CEO to municipality within 500 feet. Not applicable, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going through this checklist, our answers are complete, non-applicable, or waiver, request approved. First line, application form, did we say complete?
Is now, yes.
It is now, because of today. Correct. Applicant's agent authorization letter, I would say not applicable. Do you folks agree? Copy of deed, option, sales agreement, lease, or other documentation of title, right, or interest.
It's complete.
Written waiver request. I'd say not
It was not.
applicable. Copy of tax map of property,
Mm-hmm.
complete.
Mhm.
Copy of 10x soil map of property, complete. US topo showing map, property location.
Yeah.
Copy of Belgrade shoreline zoning map showing property location.
Yep.
Copy of flood insurance map showing property. Also national wetlands inventory map showing property.
Yes, yes.
Maine geologic survey of significant sand and aquifer. I'm sorry. Copy of Maine geological survey of significant sand and gravel aquifer map showing property location. Not applicable. Turning the page, copy of Maine drinking water program map of public drinking water supply showing property location. Not applicable. Copy of MDOT highway entrance or access permit.
Also not.
Copy of MDOT traffic movement permit and traffic movement study.
This is not applicable.
Copies of others required state or local permits.
And we've got, it's not required, but we have that dealer permit,
We do,
but I don't think that was required by the ordinance.
There are no others.
no others. How do you wish to fill this up? Complete or not?
Complete, yes.
Next was a site development plan drawn to scale. Yeah. This is a lengthy thing to read a prefer not to read the whole thing, but it's very detailed. We say complete. Next, detailed to scale drawing showing location and construction specifications of drainage features, roads, sidewalks, access points, driveways, parking, traffic control features, fire control structures, and public improvements. That will be relying on them to submit it here.
What's applicable is shown.
Documentation meets applicable state and federal air quality regulatory requirements. So we will discuss this with NA. Soil erosion control plan. We are relying on what has been indicated.
What's the amendment?
What's the amendment? Certified, DEP certified contractor name has been supplied to this complete. Location of site structures listed on National Register of Historic Places will be not applicable. Location of Maine Historic Preservation Commission archaeological sites, again not applicable. Information needed to meet air quality standard, Article 6, Section 1. Information needed to meet access to public street standards, Article 6, Section 2. NA.
What was that one again, please?
Information needed to meet access to public streets standards.
Oh, yeah.
Protection measures for historic and archaeological resources, Article 6, Section 4.
Actually, going back, haven't they met the, that has to do with site distances and things of that nature, doesn't it?
For the public streets standards? Is that that one?
Yeah. Is it access to, is it?
It reads, information needed to meet access to public streets standard.
Yeah, and
Well,
you've got a
actually-
permit from the town road commissioner
Yep.
as well.
So it's actually complete, not.
Right.
Right.
So then getting back to protection measures for historic and archaeological resources, Article 6, Section 4.
It should be an A.
Estimated quantities of flammable, combustible, and hazardous substances to be stored, handled, or generated, including waste oil and waste food.
They've met that.
Evidence meets MDEP citing regulations for oil storage and hazardous substance facilities.
That's NA.
I would think so. Copy of application provided to fire chief by planning board or CEO.
I would say NA, is not building a building.
Right.
Right.
Other information needed to meet material storage standard, including bulk storage of combustible and flammable materials and hazardous substances.
NA.
Is it NA or complete?
Oh, well, I guess the cars are bulk storage, aren't they?
Indeed.
Yeah, so it would be complete.
Visual impact assessment. Plan based on IFNW critical areas program recommendations to mitigate impact on natural areas and wildlife habitat, including deer wintering areas. Other information needed to meet natural resource protection standard, Article 6, Section 6.
I believe that's NA.
Is board requiring post-development noise monitoring and reporting plan? If not required, mark not applicable. If required, mark complete.
NA.
Information needed to meet noise standard, Article 6, Section 7. Exterior lighting plan and specifications for lighting fixtures. Is the board requiring post-development light monitoring and reporting plan? If if not required, mark NA. NA. Information to meet parking standard, Article 6, Section 9.
That's an
Written statement from fire chief on capacity of fire department to provide adequate protection. Written statement from sheriff's department approving any proposed security measures. Other information to meet public safety and emergency services standard, Article 6, Section 10. Information to meet screening of structures, parking lots, and other non-residential uses standards, Article 6, Section 11.
big bet.
I think we've met it,
Yeah.
but we've asked them,
Yep.
in this case. To scale, face on, view of proposed signs. Other information to meet sign standard, Article 6, Section 12. Okay. Stormwater management plan. Other information to meet stormwater management standard, Article 6, Section 13. That have been met.
I believe so. Would you go ahead and I'll look it up. 13, section 13, what?
That would be,
Article
Article
6.
6, Section 13. So I'll go ahead. Subsurface waste disposal site evaluation form, that's the ATG 200 NA.
Yeah.
Other information to meet wastes standard, Article 6, Section 14. NA.
The other stormwater was, met.
Met, thank you. Groundwater quality and quantity impact assessment. NA. Copy of deed restrictions related to drinking water and groundwater protection. Almost there, everybody. Thank you. Copy of Maine Drinking Water Program, Public Water Supply, Approval and Source Water Protection Program. NA?
Yeah.
Copy of MDEP Stormwater Management Permit.
That's NA.
Phosphorus and export control method. We relying, I think, on indications from the site plan. So I'm thinking we'll do that.
Yep.
Other information to meet water quality standard, Article 6, Section 15.
That's not applicable.
Supplemental site requirements for mineral extraction operations. There's a bunch of stuff in mineral stuff, so. I won't read them all off, I'm just looking at them to see if this is mineral extraction. Related to that, hydrogeological study of groundwater movement and quality, that's under the mineral extraction one.
I think all the rest of them are related to mineral extraction or telecommunications towers or wind towers.
turbines.
Right. So that would be all NA in this case, neither of those activities. So, turning the page, hiring of engineer by town at applicant's expense to document road conditions prior to use and damage after use. That would still be a
Yeah, that has to do with, transport of wind turbines.
And same thing for emergency response plan and equipment transport, not both. And then turbine engine, general liability certificate of insurance. You have one of those?
Sure.
Good enough.
Not yet.
Okay. So at this point, having looked through all the information that they've supplied by the applicant, we've gone through the checklist. at this point, it's just a sign and date part, but we have to get to the findings of fact document. I suppose it would be worthwhile to, I think I would entertain a motion
Yeah,
to talk.
I would make a motion that, the application is complete.
Second motion, second. Any discussion on the matter of completeness by the applicants?
I've got one comment, I'm not sure it has to do with completeness of the application or whether it would come later in the discussion, but I just would like to see on the proposed amendment that was here added that the 300 square feet, kind of add an addition of when that will be done or by when. It just says it will be done and without some date to it.
He read it somewhere, October
Well, that was
25th.
part of the second bullet, but it's not part of the
Yeah,
first
but-
bullet.
Oh,
It's the ditching.
I'd be happy with adding October 25th to that.
Okay.
that's reasonable.
So,
Just same as you did down at the bottom. Put to be done by October. Initial.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah. Other than that, okay.
so if Ben's writing on that one, that copy that you have,
Becomes
I wanna
original.
make sure. 'Cause
What?
That's possible. I need it.
we have a motion on the floor, it's been seconded, we've had some discussion, thank you for that addition. Any more discussion on this matter? All those in favor? Alright, so it's complete, next step is go through the findings of fact. I would ask that, you all be patient with us, and we do this, thank you very much. It's very routine. This is kind of original, I'm gonna keep those to the side. Thank you. Thanks, Nick, really appreciate this. In the matter of project Ben's Auto, applicant Ben Morrison on 151 Knowles Road, Ben's Way, map 160, lot 4. We have this opportunity to go through the findings of fact and determine whether or not this application meets the ordinance as it's so written. Okay, pursuant to the Belgrade Commercial Development Review Ordinance as last amended on March 17th, 2017, the Town of Belgrade Planning Board has considered the application of Ben Morrison, including the site plan and supporting materials and documentations, public meeting, testimony, and other related materials contained in the record. It makes the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'd like to get through the meaty stuff first and to make sure the project summary information is there. So page 2, application review process. The date the application was accepted as complete would be today. Was a site visit conducted? That was yes. Nick, can you, or can the board members,
June 12th.
It's in the minutes, so we're gonna.
they covered? List of site attendees, George, CEO,
Great.
Craig,
Roger. And, well, Rich went as well, but the day before.
that was on the 11th, Rich, or the day before?
Yeah, I believe it was, yeah.
Okay. Board meeting dates, we met several times. So,
I put the date that we met after the site visit.
so what was that date? Was it like 6:20?
I think it was I thought it was the 2nd of June, no?
We met, after the site visit,
Yeah.
that was in June, yeah, the 7th of July.
June 7th.
Yeah.
7th of July?
Yeah.
No, June, June.
Was it?
I
You
thought
also
you guys
did-
met though in
June 7th.
It's also taken up on June 7th, according to the minutes,
And when we did it.
and then taken up again on July 5th.
There's also a meeting for the June one, on that.
I wrote it down both dates. Date of final decision as today's date. Review criteria findings, the board finds that the application for the subject project is complete, and the applicable application fee has been paid in full to the town. Application materials, site plan, supporting documentation has been submitted by the applicant and are retained in the project file, maintained by the Belgrade Town Office under the project name. You've not requested any waivers, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, this has to do with standards. Okay, I'm just gonna move on to the next one. Okay, moving on. The board finds that the project will not or will cause unreasonable soil erosion or a reduction in the land's capacity to hold water, so that an unsound or unhealthy condition exists. Article 6, sections 3 and 13.
Will not.
The board finds that the project will not or will have an adverse impact on freshwater wetlands. Article 6, sections 3 and 6. The board finds that the project will not or will have an adverse impact on lake, pond, or stream. Reference Article 6, sections 13 and 15. The board finds that the project will not or will provide for adequate stormwater management. The board finds that the project will not or will provide adequate sewage disposal.
Will, I guess, because there isn't any.
I'm gonna, yeah, it will, and I'm gonna say, not applicable. The board finds that the project is not or is located in a floodplain area and either conforms or does not conform with the Belgrade floodplain ordinance.
Is not.
board finds that the project will not or will result in air or water pollution. Article 6, sections 1, 13H and 15 will not. The board finds that the project will not or will have sufficient drinking water for current and foreseeable needs. Right. The board finds that the project, along or in conjunction with existing activities, will not or will adversely impact the quality or quantity of groundwater.
Will not.
The board finds that the proposed activity will dispose of all solid waste in conformance with local regulations. And that the type and quantity of waste proposed to be sent to the town transfer facility will not or will exceed the capacity or its capacity. The board finds that the project will not or will have a significant detrimental effect on adjacent land uses and properties affected by waste, noise, glare, lighting, fumes, smoke, dust, odors, or their effects from the project.
Will not.
The board finds that the project will not or will cause unreasonable highway or public road congestion. The board finds that the project, to the maximum extent possible, will not or will have adverse effect on the scenic or natural beauty of the area, aesthetics, historic and archaeological sites, or any public rights or physical or visual access to the shoreline of a water body. The board finds that the project, to the maximum extent possible, will not or will have an adverse effect on significant wildlife habitat and other areas identified by the beginning with habitat program, etc. The board finds that the project does not conform or conforms with all other applicable town of Belgrade ordinances, including but not limited to shoreline zoning, minimum lot size, subdivision, multifamily dwelling, etc. It does conform with conforms. The board finds that the project will not or will unreasonably increase the concentration of phosphorus in a great pond. The board finds that the project will not or will conform to material storage provisions of this ordinance.
Will.
The board finds that the applicant has or does not have sufficient right, title, or interest to undertake the development.
Has.
The board finds that the applicant does or does not provide for safe and adequate parking.
It's also an egg.
I would agree. Because they're not proposing additional. Does the rest of the board feel this way? Want me to read it again?
Yeah.
The board finds that the applicant does or does not provide for safe and adequate parking.
Does.
The board finds that the project will not or will conform to all applicable provisions of this ordinance, including but not limited to development standards for specific activities where applicable. Article 7. This is where we make a decision. Therefore, the town of Belgrade Planning Board will either going to approve or deny the application. So before doing that, I wanted to make sure to mention to the applicant that there are, with this, if approved, there are standard conditions of approval that are listed here. I would like to read them to you so you have an understanding of the code of this. Basically, it talks about what you're approved to do, that's it. Right? Not more stuff. Number one, if construction has not been substantially started within 12 months, this approval and subsequent permit are null and void. We're not proposing anything. Building. Number two, the board approval of this project is described above is limited to that described in the application and depicted in the company plan, and then any other submissions. So, except to the extent that the board has expressly indicated in this document that certain depictions may be revised by the applicant without further review and approval by the board. Any changes to the application, site plan, or other supporting application submissions must receive prior approval by the board, including but not limited to changes in the proposed location of structures, roads, parking, vehicle entrance and exit wells, subsurface wastewater systems, method of waste disposal, the extent and location of vegetated areas, material storage, outdoor lighting, signage, methods of stormwater phosphorus runoff control. Okay, so we're saying what's it is it. Right.
It's understandable.
There are a couple of other ones. Unless a waiver from a specific ordinance standard has been requested by the applicant in writing and approved by the board, the development or use is required to meet all applicable ordinance standards. Number 4, this board approval and its associated permit from the CEO is transferable to subsequent owners of the property. All subsequent owners are required to comply with the conditions of the project for approval. And there's room for other conditions of approval. So, I would entertain a motion at this point.
I would make a motion to approve the application as presented.
As presented or as edited? There's a lot of edits made to it and dates changed.
As edited.
Okay.
Seconded.
Okay. Any more discussion or comments for the applicants? Do you have anything for us? Any questions, concerns? You know where we're coming from. Thank you for your time. We've gone through a lot of stuff. I think part of this might be a little bit of learning tool for you. So.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I know it's been grueling. I appreciate your patience. You know, we went through a lot of things, so I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Anything else for the applicants? You know where we're coming from, right? What we're proving is what, that's all.
Yep, totally.
Anything more? All those in favor? No opposed? Okay, great. That's for you, that's the findings of fact, the original application is with you. Oh, thank you. CEO, you know we approved it. We have a standard letter we could issue,
Yeah, Gary gets that standardized letter from us saying that.
Yeah.
And then you send them something?
I said that where I said it.
Yep.
Very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys for your time, greatly appreciate everything.
Take
Best
care.
wishes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Don't
you.
know what to do with all your free time.
I know, really, right?
No more library, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Okay, thank you, everybody, really appreciate your patience. I know it took an hour to get from there. Next, for new business, number 1. Number 1, Douglas and Jean Legg.
Right.
Hi. Welcome.
Welcome.
Does everybody have a copy of the Leggs application? All right. And Gary, they've met with you and talked about stuff.
Yep. Yep.
You want to guide us through this one then?
Yep, this is basically there's one little structure on the property currently, is that correct?
Right.
And they want to construct their home on this lot. And somewhere there's a site plan on the very back.
That shed's the only thing that's out there now.
Yep.
I notice it says option 2, there's no option 1, I guess.
I didn't notice
This
that.
is the first build and the last build.
Proposed home's 100 feet from the shore. Is that 10 feet here?
Yeah, from the board, property line.
Okay.
Is this,
Cathedral Pines?
yeah, down by the Beaupre's property?
It is the Beaupre's property.
So it's like where the chimney was?
Yep, there's the chimney right there.
Chimney's still there, it's been refurbished.
Okay. I haven't been down to that piece of property in some time.
It's a
Is it
landmark
chimney
out there, so.
Actually a chimney, or is it a fireplace for the chimney or something? What, was it an old house there?
An old
Yes.
mill site or something.
There was a cottage there, 40 or 50 years ago. And there's some remnants of the foundation, but
Not much.
why go through the hassle, right?
Right.
Right, but it is the Beaupre property.
I've already issued a permit for the septic system.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, super.
Yeah, we definitely need that documented.
Okay.
So the site drawing, so the septic that's shown on the site drawing, that's proposed versus existing.
Correct.
Correct.
That's where it's designed to go.
And the existing structure that's been demolished or will be demolished is not a residence.
No, it's not.
It's an outbuilding. One of the things I'll point out, you show that you're 10 feet here, that make sure that's any portion of the building, the overhang, everything.
Correct.
Okay, just so you know that.
Well, it'd probably be,
Because that's
Probably.
right to the setback.
yeah, it probably will be
More.
15, yeah. 13 to 15.
Okay.
What's the scale for this drawing?
Good question.
Needs to be noted.
Do you know?
No.
Is it to scale?
Probably not to your standards. I mean, house dimensions are there, right?
I'm not sure if I'm interpreting the site drawing correctly or not. But it appears when you compare it with the drawings of your proposed home, that you're gonna have a porch that's gonna extend 8.5 feet towards the lake side. Is that correct?
8 foot, correct,
Yeah.
but within the 100 feet.
Outside.
outside the 100 feet.
Okay, that's not how I read this drawing, because the structure that's proposed is a 26 by 36, which is only, does not include the porch, according to your other drawings. That only includes the log cabin, the residential, the rest of the building. So that would have to be moved back another 8 feet on the site drawing to meet the 100-foot setback.
Not sure. Yeah, okay. I'm with you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You didn't show the porch on here.
Correct.
So if that corner's 100, you need to back this up 8 feet.
That is correct.
Guess I'll fill the void by asking another question. What's this up here? Is this parking or another structure or?
24 by 26.
Yeah, what's that?
What's that?
It's just a diagram down the road that I'd like to put a garage in, but at this point in time, I'm not asking for a permit for a garage.
Okay, that's kind of confusing, so if you're gonna propose it now, it should be there. If you're not, it probably shouldn't be.
Shouldn't show.
Or that, or we approve it, you know.
Or-
we clarify that you want approval for that now.
I'm not sure what the ramifications are, right, but,
Well, it depends on when you want to build it, because this permit has a life of 2 years.
A year. A year to make a substantial start.
right. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a question though, if for some reason that, I think there was showing 24 feet by 24.
Yes, 24 by 26.
Okay, well, let's say that because of the contour of the land or whatever, right, it happens to be 26 by 26 or 24 by 24. Do I have to come back, right, and modify that? Or do I have to be exact with that footage, right, in this example?
I'll give you my take on it. The town has benefits with accuracy. So in other words, if what you ask for is a certain dimension and we approve it, anything outside of that, anything different than that is not what was approved. That's lacking clarity. That doesn't help you, doesn't help the town.
Essentially, you'd have to come back for an amendment to
It would.
the application.
Okay.
So,
If you don't know what you're doing now, I
Don't-
would suggest you probably don't wanna get it.
exactly. So if you're
Right.
thinking, oh, you might wanna consider, a couple
Yeah.
of dimensional changes on a maybe garage that might be there, or maybe it's shifted over or whatever.
Hmm.
If there's any question, my recommendation is don't.
Right, and I would ask that that be deleted, right, from,
Well, that is your call, because we will act on what's presented. What's presented does not ask for the garage.
But it shows it on the drawing, so he
shows
should
it.
make a notation on the original. It says
A thing.
to be built in the future or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't say range, just dimensions.
Or get rid of it off the original paperwork permit, wherever the original is.
Yeah. Do that.
It's up to you.
That's it.
come back for the garage.
It's up to
So
you.
I'm sensing a little bit of, probably a request for some type of either detail added to the original, sent to us, or something to provide clarity about what the applicants would like to have approved.
If it was just, whether or not that garage is part of this application, I would agree, but given that the structure's located incorrectly and this drawing isn't to scale, I think we're gonna need a revised site plan that's more accurate. And that's my personal feeling.
It is mine as well.
The other question I have is, I tried looking at this at Google Earth, and I'm not sure I was looking at the right property, but does this driveway continue beyond your proposed? No, it ends right there where it shows on the, okay. I couldn't tell because there's a line that kind of continues on, and I didn't know what that was meant to. Okay.
What does the 100-foot setback area look like now? Is it wooded, is it lawn, or
I don't remember.
the area between the lake and the 100-foot area? Is that kind of shrubby, or is it a forested area?
Between the lake and the 100-foot, I would say percentage-wise, it's probably 80%
Treed?
grass,
Oh,
80% lawn, mowed lawn, right?
I thought there was a lot along there.
It was existing when we purchased it.
Right.
Yep.
so you'll be able to get that vehicle down, assume you have a drilled well.
Mhm.
You'll be able to get that vehicle down through without cutting a lot of wooded vegetation.
There won't be any cut in the tool.
Peter, the only other thing I would note is in terms of the completeness of the application is where it says proposed structure. Again, the porch is not noted there in terms of the footprint. 8 by 36. And the other thing is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but your drawings show a foundation. Is that correct? Like a frost wall.
Frost wall slab.
So a DEP certified contractor is going to be required, and we'll need the number for that. DEP soil erosion certified contractor.
Did you tell me Jason's doing it?
They haven't asked, but
No, did you tell me that?
yes,
Yes.
yeah. Jason Stevens.
The upper left-hand corner asks for that information
Yeah.
in the application.
Okay, so we need a couple things. One, DEP certified contractor information on there. Number two, it sounds like if you wanna have that, porch to add that footprint on here, so that would be part of the application. Number three, a revised, site plan that's drawn to scale and showing, you know how you have like right now the dimensions for the proposed structure that's, it looks like it might not meet the setback for that 100-foot mark. And Gary was saying if you're gonna have the 8-foot porch on it, you're gonna bump that back. So have it revised so that you show all the stuff that you want to have on, approved. Show that on the revised site plan. Does that make sense?
And take the garage off.
And then the only thing else I would note, not that it's necessarily something you have to, you can deal with it yourself if you won't, if you are unable to, we will, but we normally, for structure, something, all new construction, we always approve it with a condition that you handle stormwater off the rooftop and the driveway, other areas like that, in accordance with Maine Department of Environmental Protection best management practices. So it's not going to the lake.
And I think Nick, do we have some pamphlets we can hand to you that talk about that, because there are several options. So it is very.
Or a combination thereof.
Those dashed lines with the star type thing, are those telephone poles and power lines? Is that what, I'm just trying to figure out what these are.
There was a quick diagram that I was using, right? There are power lines that run behind the proposed house, right, across the property, which are in the process of being removed out to the camp road.
Oh, the main camp road that's over here,
Right there, this is Cathedral Pines Road.
oh, along here.
Yes.
So is this a new pole right here?
No, it's an existing.
Oh, it goes from here to here?
Correct.
That pole's coming out?
That pole will come out, right?
Yeah, okay.
So,
Will you go with underground feet to your structure?
quite possibly from the pole at the end of the driveway, right?
Yep.
Right, yes.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the topography of the land, right, but it's pretty much been virgin territory, right, for 40, 50 years. And it's been very difficult to try to get a clear sight, right, of what I can do there on that particular lot. I chose to go back 100 feet versus going to the option of the small shed that is there, that is 80 feet from the water. And I understand with due diligence, right, you actually could, right, build or expand on that building.
Because it's an existing structure.
It is, all right, so instead of going that direction, right, I choose to go the right way in my eye is to go back 100 feet, right, and go from there. So
It sounds like a great plan.
well, it's all new to me, right, and so
It's just a matter of the site drawing reflecting what your plan really is.
Yeah, that is what it comes down to in this case. So, would we like to see those things before we act on this?
I think we have to.
So right now, we either have to table this or we can pull our application till we get the rest of the information.
Yeah. So, would you like to pull this application, revise, and get the adequate information?
well, make sure I understand my options.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not sure if I,
If we vote to table it, your clock starts
what,
to get it approved. If you pull it, then your clock doesn't start.
And it's on you. Or, let me go with the third option. If you say no, I want you to act on it, my prediction is it would be denied.
it's pretty clear.
Because it's incomplete.
And that's it, right. I would want to make sure to let you know that by my quick scan of this application, much of it looks very good. The plan for the house, it looks gorgeous. You know, much of the other information looks very good. It's just that we need some other information that we've asked specifically for to make sure that this is complete. And I will let you know that this project, like any other project that comes in, is going to be high visibility. And the first time the town manager gets or Gary or Nick gets a phone call about, hey, there's a building going on there, what's the certified contract number? And we're sitting around scratching our heads and saying, we don't have that on the application. That is not good for us. So there are reasons why we're asking for these types of things. And it's all about making sure that you, the applicant, is protected, but also the town is protected by having sufficient information for a decision that's given.
I mean, all these are requirements in the ordinance.
Yeah.
And the certified contractors are a requirement of state law. So it's not like we're making this stuff up.
Correct.
Um,
But it's new to you, so you haven't seen this before, so I just wanna make sure we're being clear about, you know, we're not trying to.
Jason certified, you just put his number there, so it should be a 4-digit number.
It's kind of deceiving though, because it's asking if you are certified.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're answering it correctly,
Right,
but we are looking for,
your contractor.
your contractor.
so that's
And
where
he
Jason's
is.
go.
Yeah, just his license number. I know he has one.
Oh, I know, I
Yeah.
can call him and get it.
Yeah, it's actually on another application that we received, you know, but.
No.
Can we summarize exactly what's missing? So
Look, before we do that,
He wrote it down, he wrote notes.
just, when you say the clock starts ticking,
We
That
have
means
so many
nothing.
days to act on it.
what's that?
We have so many days to act on it, to either approve or disapprove it.
Okay.
Well, he'll be back at the next meeting, cause he's
Right.
anxious. So I'm sure that clock
And that's the
ticking
way
is
you
gonna
can
be.
table it. If you
Right.
pull the permit, there's no clock. And you get these two things.
Yeah.
But, quick question, he pulls it, does he have to pay that fee again?
No.
Mhm.
No.
Because nothing's been acted on.
So, let's go and when would be the, what's the time frame here?
So, he-
To
what,
come back?
the next meeting?
Yeah.
First Thursday in September,
Are we doing one in, second one?
that's up to you.
Based on our timeline,
I think I was gonna try to schedule the public hearing. If everything will, did I say it's okay to?
So this, that second meeting in September is.
No.
No,
August.
August.
Oh, August,
I
yeah,
was gonna try to schedule that as the.
right, because it has to be before the first week of September, right?
Right, then we can,
So are you having a meeting?
we are, but we can still schedule it,
So,
we'll have a
so
public hearing as well.
as Gary said, it would be the first meeting in September. First Thursday in September.
Let me take one, go through this, all the information.
Is there any other option since I'm not gonna be here, right?
What was the first Thursday of September, what's the date?
It's a month from today.
Oh, we're not going to be, we're gonna be in Seattle, Washington, yes, okay.
Can you get the information in, or do they don't have to be here?
You don't have to be here if you get.
You don't have to be here, get it to
information
me, yeah, you can get it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just the site drawing?
Yeah.
Square footage and
Yeah.
contractor number.
yeah.
Contractor number, if it's Jason Stevens, is 1785.
Yeah.
Thank you.
here. How much have you got in the books for next month already?
Nothing.
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 So if you get 3 or 4 for the first of next month, we'll try to stick this in 2 weeks. The information is there.
It's up to you guys.
Because the public hearing that we're talking about is for the commercial.
Sure.
Shoreline zoning ordinance. So do we devote the entire thing to that? Yes, the board.
Well, it kind of depends on how many public show up.
And,
Historically,
yeah.
It's
we're
one of the
lucky if
first
we're
ones,
getting
but I'll
1 or
tell you.
2.
Yeah.
Kind
That's
of a
why I
big,
said, you know,
big
we
yawn.
this first. In the road business.
How does the board feel about that? The public hearing notification doesn't talk about other stuff.
You don't have to be here.
I just don't want to feel like the select, just keep it.
Yeah, I know, I don't wanna put it, it's longer than it has to be, it's just giving fairness to the other things we're trying to do too. So it's a challenge.
Well, if we have it, and we don't have, actually going in the public hearing, then if we have it in front of us, can we just take it up?
I don't think it'll take long.
Right, but if we have a full house, then they're understanding it'll have to be the first Thursday in September. But as long as we have the permit in front of us, the information, we can.
I feel good, I feel okay with that.
Just have to be on the agenda. and advertise.
Yeah, so it's almost like a conditional thing. It's like we could take it up if. What?
I mean, we can't take it up if it's not on the agenda,
Right.
or we can take it up, or we can table it
Right.
if we don't have time. So it has to be on the agenda.
And what's the date we're talking about?
2 weeks from tonight would be
August
16th,
16.
August 16th.
I think we ought to put it on, and we can always table it if we, assuming you can get the information.
Believe me,
So you,
it could be soon, real soon.
so you don't have to be here, you could just give me that drawing that they're looking for, and Jason's number.
Right.
So do you understand where we're coming from? That we'd like to have something work for you, if possible, believe it or not. On the 16th, we have it on our agenda, even though that's, up until now, we have another big item to deal with. But if we have it on the agenda, it's listed,
We'll try to squeeze it in.
I understand.
squeeze it in. That's what it comes down to.
So let me make sure in summary, right? Obviously, Jason, the site, information, his number. Putting the porch on the diagram, setting it back 8 feet. Put it to scale, right? The plan to scale.
Yes.
And about the stormwater, is that something that needs to be addressed within the application? Or
If it's sort of up to you. You can, if you have a preference, or maybe in discussions with Jason, he may have a preference or recommendation.
Jason's the one's got to do that before you break ground.
No, I'm talking stormwater.
Oh, okay, yeah, afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, stormwater, yeah, and,
In other words, it's either gutters, or, a rock area for the water to drop on, and the way to control it.
It's gonna be something, put in a.
Crushed stone around the
Right.
foundation.
So you don't have to
Right.
It's
deal
easy
with
stuff.
yeah,
What's that?
I mean, you'll have to deal with it, you don't have to necessarily deal with it in advance of submitting the application.
We could make it a condition.
Yeah.
right, which I'm perfectly fine with.
And then, if you're not gonna build this, take this garage up, okay?
Right.
Or if
So I understand it so that I can continue the application and we'll do an amendment to this application
Yep.
for the 16th. Is that the way it would go? Or are you looking at me pulling the application, right, and having a brand new application, right?
Speaking
for
for
the 16th?
myself, my opinion would be to pull it and do it with the complete information.
And I can do that for the 16th.
Yes.
And I understand that it's questionable, right, if it will be addressed or not that evening.
Correct.
That's fair.
But if not, it would be on September 2nd or whatever the first.
Whatever it is,
Second.
yeah.
One more thing that you skipped over on your summary is the square footage for the porch, is that added in?
It's on the
Not
front.
at the moment, it isn't.
You need to, on this front page, you need to add that square footage for the porch on that.
You put square footage of the house,
says without porch.
just put square footage of the porch. Okay. Yep.
It's added in.
Unless this 1536 counts the house and the porch, does it?
I think it's just a living area.
Oh, that's just living space, okay.
So do you wish to pull your application?
Yes.
I don't think we need it, they're not gonna use it, we have no need to have that.
You can bring the same application back.
Yep.
Excuse me?
He's giving it back to you, so you can bring back the same application, just with the new drawing.
Yeah, and with the
No, you don't need to fill out a
alterations.
new one.
Gotcha, okay, I'm with
Make
you.
the changes you need to make, square footage of the porch.
What
Jason's
about
number?
dates?
Yeah, redate it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
just initial it.
Okay.
It's as if you had to make it something on a check, initial a date.
Right.
That's
Right.
Yep, yep. Okay.
It's a learning curve.
Yes.
Everything is.
I know.
Okay.
So do you have any other questions for us? Because we're happy to help you answer. Believe it or not.
Well, Gary will be available in the meeting.
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Good, thank you for your time.
Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
Enjoy your trip if you don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, that can't be changed, so we'll do the best we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi.
Hi there.
Are you scared? Because we've got to do
I-
things. I hope not.
It is what it is. I hope I'm in compliance here.
Are you, James?
Yes,
Hi, James. Thanks for coming in tonight. And thanks for bearing with us as we go through
sure.
other items. Okay. Gary, we've met with the applicant?
176 Sandy Cove, Long Pond. Basically, this deck that's on this diagram is an existing deck. And they're just going to screen in on top of part of the existing deck.
We're adding 3 feet
Oh, you are adding
to
to it?
the existing deck.
Oh, okay.
So I've included a current, what is currently there, and a proposed map.
Okay.
So the second one is the existing,
And the first
and the
one.
first is proposed.
Yes, they're labeled
Oh, I see.
existing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
proposed.
it is actually.
On the top, yeah.
Okay, very good. And, my two standard questions, the scale of the drawing and the distance from the corner of the new screen porch, the expanded screen porch to the long pond.
100 feet.
It's 100 feet.
Yes,
We'll need to have that shown on the drawing.
okay.
Right. Because I'm thinking that the water's down where it says Long Pond.
Yes, it is.
So showing it that.
Corner of the house is 105 feet from high water mark. Yes, I do have a line there that shows 105 feet from the.
Oh, I see it.
Where is it?
On this, right here, this right here.
So
See that line?
Circle.
105 feet from.
it runs tangential to the circle that says
Oh.
105.
Yeah, but the shoreline isn't straight. So it might be different.
Yes.
Right. Do you see what?
Yes, I have, and I have measured it. It is 100 feet.
That's fine.
So just indicating, I think that would be appropriate.
Okay.
How much did you say you're expanding the deck by 2 feet or,
3 feet.
pardon me, 3?
3 feet.
Okay. And that deck isn't gonna, that portion of the deck isn't gonna be any closer to the water than the rest of the deck or house.
He said it- he
Or the
just-
house.
He said it'll be 100 feet.
It'll be 100, okay.
Yes.
But Rich's question is, it's not going towards the water, correct?
Well, I just wanna
No,
make sure
It's going
that
this way.
this, if the rest of, no part of the construction is less than 100 feet. Pardon me?
Doesn't really matter, does it? If it's not less than,
As long as it's no closer than the closest part of the structure, yeah. that does-
You can see that part of the house juts out further toward the water
Mm-hmm.
than the current deck. That part of the house is 105 feet. And as you said, the water, the property is at an angle
So the corner of the proposed deck will be 100 feet from the highway.
Thank you.
In the process of putting the 3 feet on, he's losing some of his weight in the deck that's already there.
Oh, he loses.
Right over here, and there he's losing it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So taking off something?
Yeah, it's a wooden deck right now, so if he adds on 3 feet to the deck, it's gonna roll the way wood, it's already wood.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
What kind of, is it a gable roof or a shed style roof?
It's a gable roof that will have gutters. And I've already determined that the downspouts will be directed toward the wooded area, vegetation.
Is your roof going up, or are you just going out?
It's just going out. It's actually going to fit underneath the gable roof that is there now. You can see there's an addition on the side of the house. That's also a gable roof.
Yeah, in terms of handling the stormwater coming off, just not the whole camp, just we only have jurisdiction over the addition that you're proposing, or the new
Yes.
construction that's being proposed. But you know, funneling it into a natural wooded area is fine if it has the capacity to hold that water. Normally gutters aren't the best option usually, but
What do you prefer?
Is that fairly level there? Does it slope down to the water?
It slopes down. It's level, and then about I would say 15 feet in front of the house toward the lake, it starts to slope down. It's fairly level right where the house is, though.
based on your site drawing, so the gutter would go towards, I guess, the left as you're facing Long Pond?
So there, right now, currently I have gutters on the house that run the entire length of the house and the addition. The downspout is where that addition starts.
And
In the crook of that addition there is where the downspout currently is. I have a pit filled with stones where the water goes into that area.
Yep.
And so I was going to extend the gutter to the addition, to the screen porch.
And it would discharge into the same dry well?
Well, I could do that. I thought it would be better, there would be less runoff if I discharged it into, if I did an extension underneath the walkway that discharged it into the wooded area.
And that wooded area is?
It's very thick vegetation.
And that's over here between your property line and?
That's correct, yes, that's correct. I thought that would be a better solution, but I'm open.
Well, we could handle this as we normally do, which is just as a condition, because I think either of those would be workable.
They sound workable.
Yeah. A lot of times people don't have naturally wooded vegetation that they can use as a sort of an infiltration buffer.
And that's why I thought that this would be a better option.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Are you a little familiar with that area?
I've been down there, but it's been years and years and years.
Rich, you familiar with that area?
I've seen it more from the water than I ever have from the land.
Roger, you've been down there? It's been a long time since I've been down there. I feel comfortable handling this with the condition.
Yeah.
You folks do.
And then it uses on
I've also, we'll be putting about 50 feet of silt fencing along the front of the house with bark mulch behind it to prevent any runoff when we're digging the posts. Or the screen porch.
Yeah, that's something Jason's gonna do on that. Before he brings it up.
It doesn't even need a certified contractor for this.
So there are currently support posts for the deck, but they're 4x4. We'll need stronger support because of the roof, which will be 6x6. And that's why I'm going to put the silk fencing and the bark down there to prevent any kind of runoff.
So will we be hiring a contractor to do this?
Yes, Bill Billio is my contractor. B&D Builders.
So I don't really have a problem with the project. What I do have a question is whether or not we should make clear, the drawings are fine and everything. In the proposed construction or change, it says convert existing deck to screen porch. In the end, that's what's being done, but should we request that it kind of be amended to say, remove existing deck, replace with new deck, expanded deck, and screen porch?
James, is that just happening?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I see,
So
okay.
Yes.
there's nothing there, nothing on the front page says there's any expansion of it, it just says convert existing deck to screen porch.
That's
I'm
correct.
just thinking in the future, if somebody had to go back and look at the application, the other thing is that down at number 8, where it says present structure 1,600 square feet, footprint area 1,250, proposed structure 208 feet. Like I said, we're looking at the drawings, I think you'd probably figure it out,
Right.
but it really doesn't explain well what's happening here in terms of the whole structure.
I see, yes.
The house and whatever. I'm not gonna send you back home and withdraw your application. It's just, I think we might
Yeah, just.
be helped
just,
for you to
amend this.
clarify it with some notes.
No,
Yeah.
I really was depending on the drawings to give a clearer picture of what's actually going on. But yeah, it is, we are going to be removing the deck that's there now and putting in new posts and new decking that will support the roof.
What's the original? So he wants you to write that on that
Yeah.
original
Yeah,
application.
so to answer your question, Rich, I think it is a good idea. I think that is
And if you could add the 100 foot from the corner, because it could very well.
Yes, I can do that as well.
Yeah, and just initial that as well.
Yeah. So we want to, I want to cross this off.
No, on the front of the application.
Oh, okay, not the, but I do want to put a line.
Yeah,
here
yeah.
That says 100 feet.
Yep.
Okay, I can do that. Not very straight.
I'm impressed. I would not do that straight.
100 feet. That's clear.
Yes,
Is that clear? Okay. And we want to change this language.
Yeah, where you wrote here.
Convert existing deck,
Yeah, just,
remove existing deck.
yeah, you can probably write it up above here, maybe,
Okay,
find a spot.
I'll put remove existing deck.
Existing 10 by 16. And replacing with a 13 by 16.
Screen porch. Screen porch.
Put today's date and your initial.
remove, I'm gonna cross off convert, remove existing 10 by 16 deck and replace with 13 by 16 screen porch.
Yep.
Now, initial that. And today's date is 8/2.
Yep.
James reminds me also, it shows the date next to it. While James is up here, making these amendments, is there anything else we want to have on there? Because you asked a question about in which direction was the wording stuff.
Oh, well, that's good, I don't need it on the drawing.
You're clear now.
Yeah, I mean, I think as Roger suggested, we'll just put the condition on and then he can have options, do it that way, or if he wants to do something.
We ought to have that permanent automatic.
Thank you.
So does that help address the questions, Rich, or concerns?
Yeah.
Anyone else have any questions for the applicant? So we now have an application which has been submitted and amended. Any other questions for us?
No.
About this? No other questions for the applicant? I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we accept the application as amended with one condition, using the best management, stormwater management.
So we have a motion with a condition.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? I have a question if you don't
Yes.
mind. Is it, not that it has any bearing on our decision, but I'm interested in this case, does this, are there other owners down there that you have to run this by, or?
In terms of the association, no, I'm totally within our, all of our
Deed restrictions.
yeah, deed restrictions,
Okay.
Within the community. But I have actually, I'm very friendly with my neighbors, so they know that this is happening.
Okay. All right, all those in favor? All in favor, none opposed? So James, it's been approved and the permit will be mailed to you.
Very good. Now, the condition, will that require some sort of, is that just a good faith thing, or?
Well, yeah, we'll.
I don't have to send you a photo, or
No, I'll
you'll
look
come
at
back
it.
and,
I'll look at it when you're
oh,
done.
very good, okay.
And Nick will, when you get the permit, you'll get some guidance.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, have a nice evening.
You too.
Thank you, have a great night. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
Okay, we've gone through old business and new business. What we haven't done yet is the meeting minutes. We'll take a few minutes to do those. And
You don't have May 17th because I don't have that file. I'll just you guys know.
okay. Okay, great. So minutes for, the first one would be June 7th, right? Okay, are we all right on the meeting minutes, or are we ready to go over the meeting minutes for June 7th? Everybody had a chance to read through them? Any edits that are needed, or comments? Roger?
The one thing I saw is on the very bottom, the board will discuss it when we visit on July 5th meeting and then come to a decision. Well, we didn't, so I think then come to a decision should be taking that out.
I see what you're saying. How do people feel about that? Just, are you saying?
Because we did discuss it on the 5th, but we did not come to a decision. That's up to them.
Right, on the 7th, of course, we didn't know when we would make a decision.
Could just get rid of the whole sentence.
That's true.
Too.
Strike the last sentence, you good with that?
Doesn't
Like that? So, from the board will then discuss. Okay?
Okay.
I don't think it was here.
Oh.
According to this, you are.
It was your alter ego that was here.
And I think that,
I also was not at
yeah.
the meeting. I'll be recused
So,
or abstaining.
we had neither Craig nor George, so under the list of those present, we should be struck. Rich, did you have any questions?
regarding those minutes?
Yep.
I don't think so.
Okay, I have a question. On page 2, number 3, after applicant, it says owner. What does same mean?
Just be same.
Does it just be same? Okay, I figured so, but I didn't know if it was like some term I didn't know.
No.
Okay. All right,
If
good
it
enough.
was insane, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so we have, anything else? I entertain a motion on these minutes.
Motion to accept the minutes of June 7th as it,
Amended?
amended.
Okay, we need a second. It's been seconded. So, 3 of us that can vote on this, among us. All those in favor? 3, 2, none opposed. That's that. Next, June 21, that was just a review of, well, it is a review of what we discussed when we went through shoreline zoning ordinance.
Is that meant to have a public meeting?
We're on June 21st.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we ought to do some kind of amendment with the fourth end of it. Peter Sargent did want to make a motion to keep the 25-foot setback rather than the 35. I think we need to make clear that that pertained to roads. Isn't that what it was, setback from roads or whatever? So,
Yes. We had a discussion about road versus,
keep the 25-foot road setback. Throw the word road in there after 25 foot.
Did he want to make it, or did he make a motion?
He
Well,
made it.
a motion.
So we want the word want out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You made a motion. Peter Sargent made a motion to keep the 25-foot road setback.
The other thing, Nick, was, the board members present
Yeah, I just wrote that down.
and others present. I think Dick Bourne was at that meeting,
Which one?
21st, June 21st.
It was at two of them that I recall.
Yeah.
I'll check the minutes.
Yeah, I would
think
defer.
he was at the May second.
The May, that's right. Okay, so he wasn't at this
I don't
meeting.
believe so.
Okay, all right, well, just double check
I'll
that.
double check.
The other edits I have are, the 1, 2, 3, 4th line down, that starts with the changed, should be, the changes. And then, from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th line up from the bottom, I think it would read better, if it reads, the board agreed that it would work, and I think if you deleted, it would work, and was deleted. So that it reads, the board agreed that there are major changes that need to be done, they would put that to them. And then, the last line, after the word anything in the period, I think that last sentence of the minutes should be rewritten. Board discussed whether the CEO waiver should be added to the beginning of the sentence on page 68, and then after 68, I would add is legal, comma, but they wanted to wait and get Gary's input.
Good reference.
Could you say that one more time?
I'm sorry?
Could you say that one more time?
Sure. So it would add the board discussed whether the CEO waiver, so add that to the beginning of that last sentence. Get that? Then we continue on page 68, and then after 68 add is legal, comma, but. So it would read, the board discussed whether the CEO waiver on page 68 is legal, but they wanted to wait, get Gary Fuller's input on the matter.
Is above above that, is Dan McKenzie, is that who we're referring to as Dan? Be good to put his last name.
Yeah.
Might help too, that Dan McKenzie, town fire chief.
Right. Right, so the name and the title. Okay?
Apparently I was not here that night.
What was in June?
Nick's gonna check on both
Yep.
us and them.
Yeah, you weren't here on one of those.
It was after my wife's surgery, but I thought there was a war in there. I know it was.
Anything else for this? So with Nick checking on the present list, how do we want to handle this?
I would make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
And second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
I don't think it was here, so.
Oh, okay. So, 4 approved.
The reason I say that is when the motion was made by Peter Sargent, then we voted against that, on that down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think you're correct, but you weren't.
So by checking the present list, we can verify that Roger was not here. Okay. Great. Next, the meeting minutes for July 5th.
I got this on the agenda for July 5th.
July, July 5th?
Oh, you know what? It says agenda, but
It
it's
says
really,
agenda, but
it's really the minutes.
The trick. Wanna see if you're paying attention?
That's the first thing to be amended.
Yeah. It's fooling with us.
Hope we pass the testing. Very straightforward. Okay, so we know there's gonna be at least one change.
One at the beginning, one at the end, whole business on the last page, take it right out.
Actually, rather than new business, we only did old business.
Yeah, cause that wasn't.
Yeah, they meant it, so.
So new business should be changed to old business. Can also get rid of minutes, June 7th of that. We didn't get to that.
Right.
And also, in addition to Ben Morrison, his girlfriend Laura Newsy was here.
Was it
NUCCI, I believe.
Yeah, she's been a great, I think, support for Ben's efforts here, so she's been really important.
So do the homework.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Rich.
I said, bullet mark is copy of the dealer license, just change the T to Y. Next to the last bullet, revegetate AN area. 300 feet. Go ahead, George.
No, that's what I had, those two things.
Anything else for the meeting minutes and to switch from agenda to minutes. Anything else? Need a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes of July 5th as amended.
And second, any more discussion? All those in favor? And Craig is not. So, cool. All right. A little after, we still have a little time. Any updates from you? One I think we might be thinking about.
You're not, you better start.
Maybe. Has to do with shoreline zoning ordinance, and Denny didn't catch a copy in the parking lot of it at Christie's. He said to me, hey, what do you think about for accessory structures? To remove the idea about having plumbing basically in those things.
I know he's talked about it.
Yeah. So for the board,
Was that have Gary do accessory structures? Is that what the question was?
No.
no, why Gary made a note about it is that Denny may have talked about it to Gary to get his opinion.
What's happening is, we issue permits for a bunkhouse. And when you do a final inspection, you got 2 bedrooms upstairs, a kitchen, a bathroom, 2 bathrooms, a living room, you got a second cam. Yeah. It's happened a couple
Oh,
of
is this
times.
down St. Cove?
We're working with it right now. But there's been others in the past.
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned that being a problem statewide.
Yeah, it's easy to get the bunkhouse and, you know, after everybody's gone away and nobody's thinking anymore, it's like, yeah, let's finish it now.
Right. So what Danny's asking is that we might consider in the ordinance, not allowing plumbing in the accessory structures.
No. Because if you're allowing people to sleep there, they need a piss. Right? I mean, we already have no kitchens, right?
Right, you did one on one road and you put a condition, no cooking facilities.
No cooking facility.
Well,
And I don't
that's the
think-
way it is.
I don't
If you
think
build a
that's-
accessory, you can't have 2 kitchens on the property. So
Right.
legally, it's already taken care of.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna have people sleeping there, it's a bunkhouse, they plumb it, to wash your hands, to.
Yep.
So that doesn't make any sense to me.
Even if they put
I
a
know
door
what
over
it
it,
is
it's
to-
And I'm fine with that, I'm just voicing what Denny brought up.
But even if that happens, they still gotta go through Gary, because you gotta be hooked to the septic.
But they don't,
But we
right?
don't.
They don't want.
They don't come
They
back to
don't
you, to see if the
you
septic
put a
system is
sink in the
adequate.
shower,
Yeah, the one that you issued, they got a plumbing permit for a little half bath.
So legally you can have 2 of the 3. You got cooking, sleeping, and you add kitchen, plumbing, or not, let's see, cooking, sleeping, toilet facilities, dining area. If you don't have all of them, you really don't have a dwelling unit. So
Right.
most people.
So you can have the kitchen and the bedrooms, but you can't have the bathroom.
Right.
Or you can have the bathroom and you can have the bedroom,
But you can't have.
but you can't have the kitchen.
So I think
Because that's the definition of a dwelling unit.
have all 3.
Yep.
So, Denny, I don't speak for him, but I think what he was trying to impress upon us was, is there anything that we can do within the confines of the shoreline zoning ordinance we're advising now to help control that, so stuff doesn't get out of hand, that if we don't already control it.
Before the fact rather than after the fact through enforcement. Is this a matter of, the enforcement case is sort of impaired by us not?
No.
No, it's a matter of preventing it from happening in the first place. I mean, I don't know if it matters what we put in the ordinance. If somebody's hell bent on violating the ordinance, they're gonna violate the ordinance.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly right.
These people knew they couldn't do what they did, they just did it.
It's not the first time, nor will it be the last.
I mean, for example, if we put a special condition or something like that on the permit, they probably would have done it anyway.
They may have.
Yeah.
if there, and maybe, I just wanted to bring it up as a topic, only because we're in the timeline of doing changes to the ordinance. I'm not sure that we can do anything, or we will decide to do anything more about this particular topic, but the time is right to do something, if we're gonna do anything with it. And maybe the answer is no, there's nothing to do in the ordinance, but maybe it's a practice. Maybe the answer is a practice that we, standard conditions when we wanna mess with accessory structures that we explicitly state we only have 2 or 3, whatever they are. I don't know. We're probably not gonna solve it tonight, but I have to think about it. Oh, I see yes. Yeah.
And I'm not sure it's worth putting in, you can only have 2 out of the 3. It would encourage people to start thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, I can do it. Just better left unsaid, and when you deal with permits, make it clear to them that they're not supposed to do that, and if they go ahead and do it, just if they, you know, the worst part is that, you know, Gary's not gonna go inspecting all of these facilities once a year, and the assessors don't really go inside to
Not
know
always.
when they got a 12-by-16 garage or something. So once they do it, it's hard to catch, I guess, unless you get a complaint.
Gary, was it an inspection of yours that caught this, or were there like citizen complaints or?
Complaints, so I went and inspected it. Their permit was for a playroom with a laundry and a garage, within a garage. Half of the garage.
When did we approve this, Gary?
You didn't, it was a conforming structure on a conforming lot, so I did it. So they got carried away. There's 2 bedrooms upstairs, this full bath, kitchen, granite countertops. I mean, it's a camp.
Nice.
It's a camp.
So it sounds like they went outside the description of what was approved.
Oh, yeah.
So where we did.
Right.
Yeah, the room man, yeah. Alright, wait. Okay. If anybody has some idea, you know, great, we can talk about it more.
I guess I would only leave on the table that, you know, if you run into problems with the enforcement case because of something in the ordinance, then we should probably discuss that.
Exactly.
No,
We talked about this last month. You put one of these together until it's voted on, like the shoreline ordinance that we've been working on.
What is it?
What you passed out tonight? This here?
Right.
Should have had the watermark draft on it.
Oh,
Because if
that's
somebody
right,
picks
yeah.
one of these things up
Right.
tomorrow, and it's got, you know, I picked this up in July, so it's already
Right.
enacted, you know. So it should have been written draft right across it. So in the future, if whatever we're working on.
Right.
you know,
No, you just told me about that.
So we'll get back to some stuff in just 1 minute, but Gary, I didn't want to interrupt what you might have up your sleeve. Is there anything going on?
we're gonna have a commercial development application. I've talked to the engineer, but I haven't seen the application yet. It's for, I think, a new 11,000 square feet of impervious parking area at Belgrade Central School.
Wow.
He's
See,
working on
they
it.
put money in it, they put the new roof on it,
It looks like it, yeah.
and it's new shed going into the house.
Yep, I was there today.
So is that going on the same side of the road as the school, or is that? 'Cause there's
Same
been
side.
Chit chat about
No, same size, same side as the
gravel
school.
pit, no.
Go towards the playground.
I don't know where, I haven't seen the plan, but it's on the school property.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
So Nick, thank you for making the, changes on here. Speaking of changes, on the agenda, I'd like to point out that we should handle old And are we on,
You're on the next selectmen's meeting
which is
next Tuesday.
next Tuesday?
It's the seventh, yeah. And Dennis, just wanna know your intentions, is it just an update for the selectmen, just let them know what's going on? or-
Yes. Yes, sir.
Right.
Well, that's
Well,
why we
and-
wanted them to have the packet, so that if
Right.
there's something they want to change, they can have a heads up.
Well, and, yeah, I mean, they have to, pass muster for it to proceed to the public hearing and then, you know, further along in the process, so. And if they wanted, they could put the kibosh on it, right then and there.
Right,
It's really for approval.
Yeah.
right. Cause the goal would be to go to them and say, here, we made changes. Here's a summary of the changes. What are your thoughts? They might come back and say, no, we don't wanna do anything.
Unlikely, but.
Right, but,
I'm gonna send them copies of the ordinance, and we're gonna make, you want the changes to still reflect, like, you want us to keep stuff underlined and stuff crossed out.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Just
So
double
they,
check.
I mean, you might make things that have been on the
Right,
summer.
I'll finalize that stuff.
so that's the next Tuesday,
That's Tuesday at 6:30.
6:30, okay. So if anybody who might like to come, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll plan to do that.
So, Scott, you want me to schedule the public hearing for next meeting?
Well, the public hearing for,
Sure.
so we've had our informational meeting, right? And we discussed through email the idea that since we're not having any changes to the slope district, that it's just one
There's just one hearing.
hearing. So, do you guys feel?
You can't schedule it till after the selectmen's meeting, right? They have to approve it before you schedule a public hearing. Isn't that what George just said?
Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Yeah.
I'll double
okay.
check, but
Yeah,
say they do approve it. After that, you want me to schedule it. I don't know if I can after that.
Not enough time.
Yeah. We could bump that meeting up to this is a 5-day week, I don't know. 5 week month, sorry. So I don't know if you wanna bump.
I mean, I'm not positive of that, but I think that's.
Or you could, can you tentatively, schedule it tentatively?
What do you mean?
What do you have to do to schedule it?
No, well, just because we have a deadline, I think September 7th is when we have to have it set in stone.
No, I get that. What do you have to do to schedule it for, say, 2 weeks from tonight?
Oh, I think I have to look, I think it's 10 or 12 days
To advertise it?
to have, before you have the hearing. And then you get advertisement that 12th day, have to have something.
Yeah, so it's not like you can set it up and then cancel it if,
Why don't you ask Dennis?
yeah.
If that's, okay.
Okay, but it has to be after the meeting, that's the select board.
So the only other way.
Huh?
It has to be after the select board meeting, right?
No, that's what I'm asking you to ask Dennis tomorrow, before the selectmen's
I'm
meeting.
I'm not 100% certain.
Ask Dennis.
okay. Yeah, so,
And we still wanna put this on for our regular
Mhm.
town meeting.
right. Yeah, we can find out what the plan is gonna be.
Town meeting?
Well, I was gonna say, if we don't put it for 2 weeks from tonight,
Right.
if we wait till Tuesday and they approve it, and we wanna have a meeting within the week and a half or whatever, we'd have to have a special meeting just for this,
Oh, I see.
in order to still be on the deadline to get onto the town warrant
In
as we
November,
had planned.
in November.
Yeah,
We're that close? We're that tight?
September 7th is the last day you can
right.
put it in the electronic ballot, you still have time after that, but it has to be handed.
There's some, I can't quite remember. I saw the email. I actually went to my wife, but,
I saw it too, but I don't remember what it said.
yeah, either do I. It's sort of a logistical thing.
Right.
Right.
We have one meeting before that September 7th, so we can schedule the hearing that day too. I mean, that meeting, for that meeting.
My feelings on that is, if we have to have one special one just for the public meeting, so we can get this thing over with, let's do it.
Well, why don't you ask Dennis tomorrow?
I'll look at that and I'll email you guys tomorrow,
Okay.
what I found. Make a little, yeah.
You know, we tentatively said that we would take up that other application on that same.
We did.
I don't think that'll take you long once you get a decent drawing.
Right. As long as they get the drawing squared away.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else from you?
I'll email Thursday.
What's that?
No.
Anything else? No. Anything else from anybody? Rich?
I got the, wetlands map from Fish and Wildlife, and we have only 4 moderate and high value wetlands in town. Belgrade Bog across from Hanover, a wetland behind, on 27, behind Billy Martin's place that runs up across the railroad tracks on the other side of the
On
street.
the other shore.
Yeah. Austin Bog, is down here out of 27, goes down to Great Pond, and the stretch of Lower Long Pond where it narrows up and heads down to Belgrade Stream. Those are the only ones that are.
Is that, I was just curious, because I looked on that on Google Earth, and I was wondering if a lot of that is even in Belgrade.
Apparently, according to map, Belgrade and Mount Vernon Town Line runs down the middle of the stream.
Oh, wow.
Until it gets down lower.
Yeah. 'Cause some of that is Sandy Cove development, isn't it?
I don't even know where Sandy Cove is, but that's here, isn't it? No. This is a Dunn road.
Oh, that's a Dunn Road. Sandy Cove is this.
Just on my satisfaction.
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Chance
But that's not
find
part
out.
That's not part of it, but these are all homes along here.
So what does that mean in the end?
It means that we are, for now, we're doing nothing with the
I
district.
thought that,
Right.
I thought
Some
they
of
knew,
it's in
I think they
research.
mentioned it once, didn't they?
But we're,
This recycle?
we're
Yes.
doing nothing here, because that would add to the resource protection until later. This is already zone resource protection, except for portions that we already have in general development, like that finger that goes out. And this, I think, is the same.
And we're deleting, Hoyt Brook.
Yeah.
We would delete that in the changes to the map.
And except that most of this is surrounded by forested wetland anyway, so it's gonna stay resource protection because of another criteria, some of it.
Actually, the four areas that you mentioned there's a lot of water, I mean, they're all fishable.
All what?
They're all fishable.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the resource protection would be,
Yeah, I know.
you know.
Yeah.
So in terms of a net change to the, map, it's just the deletion of this.
Deletion of resource protection, there's a
Resource.
couple of, there's some smaller ones that we have, and like I said, if there's any upland up there, we would delete that from resource protection. We've got a bunch of less than 10-acre wetlands that were resource protection before, but they're not even gonna be on the map anymore because they weren't regulated by the ordinance, and they won't be regulated by the ordinance. So we're gonna get rid of those smaller advisory areas.
So I assume we have to have the shoreline zoning map changed before the public hearing.
And I'm going up to Old Town tomorrow to see Mary, what it is too. And I've got the town ordinance map because the draft that they.
It's on that now.
Yeah, the drafted map that they sent us is a bigger problem than the wetlands issue because LR is, I mean, this color is resource protection. And
half the
the
town.
whole
resource
shoreline, and that's not your dad's property or whatever, or Kunkel's or something, is in resource protection. All of Pinkham Cove is in resource protection. All of White Island is in resource protection.
Well,
They
that-
screwed up on the colors.
That'll lighten your workload. Issue permits.
Nothing.
Wham! Denied.
All along here on, right down toward that cove.
We gotta get a rubber stamp,
Business
denied.
and residential. So something happened when they.
Yeah, the whole town's resource
original
protection.
draft.
Oh, really?
And I'm hoping to go up and make sure that
Oh,
gets
wow,
fixed.
it's great that you can do that, Rich.
Thank you so much, Rich, really, for doing that.
But I gotta tell her, you need this quickly.
What's this island here?
Craig lives that one.
Is that oak?
Yeah, it might be.
Where's Pine?
Right there, isn't it?
That's fine, that's fine.
That's cool, that's Oak
Oak.
Island.
Okay.
The chute is all the.
But since they cut the trees here across straight from my house, that's the island I can see.
Yes. Is that Pine?
Yes.
That pine's
Not a
tiny.
very big island,
No.
all those little,
That's the one you say.
I don't even want to think about
It's
wastewater.
a good-sized island.
Yeah, really.
the water is a waste probably.
Yeah. All you kiddies pee when you're swimming.
I can't see it now because the trees got the leaves,
I know.
but come wintertime, I've got a good view of that.
Yeah, it's a different view in the summer versus winter up on top of the hill. there.
Well, especially since, what's your name, had all the trees cut there, and now she got it up for sale.
Yeah, it's a very different view. Census is like.
There's quite a house they built across from you down in there.
That's what I heard, they had a party down there last week. Birthday party.
Didn't invite you?
No, but our grandson was down there. They're related somehow to his future wife.
They're not here much. I think he lives in New Zealand.
I know there's been a lot of dump trucks in and out of that place.
They're
Jesus.
down now, but.
Oh boy, we're all taped on, huh?
Okay. Well, Rich, thanks for going up and making those changes.
No, I've been keeping my nose right
To the maps.
Hopefully it'll come out good. So.
Since
The good news is they have got
That's
the
from-
up-to-date data and up-to-date software.
Haven't been down there at all.
So it
I used to
should be
be
a
down there
simple
behind.
matter of.
Yeah, they're done.
What I was a little troublesome is how we went from the graph that the map that we're using in Gary's room, which is this one, because I want to take that too. So nobody can come into the office tomorrow and ask for the town map. But, how they produced that, and it came out okay, but when they did this one, it's way off as far as the districting is. Anyway,
Well, thank you in advance.
all right.
Anything else for tonight? If not, let's call it a wrap, 9:30. Thanks, everybody.